Herbert, our international affairs editor, joins us. This has been squarely on your mind throughout the day, and the U.S. president saying it is not up to the United States to pick Iraq's leaders, but above all, Iraqi leaders must rise above sectarian differences.
Yeah, absolutely. And the question also given right now, with Maliki in power, because there have been rising voices, both in Washington, within Iraq as well, saying that he's perhaps the wrong person in the wrong place at the right time to try to be the bridge, to try to form this cohesive government that Barack Obama insists is his absolute priority. The White House has repeated on several occasions, their line is that they don't believe officially that there's any military solution to this. And Barack Obama couldn't be clearer on several repeated occasions saying he is not, he said it again tonight, he is not sending troops, American fighting troops, back into the Iraqi battlefield. That is a definite line in the sand for Barack Obama, and he's shown no inclination across that. And the advisors that he's sending, let's be very clear what they will presumably be doing. There weren't that many details on where they'll be based. Will they remain in Baghdad? Will they actually go to the north, where a lot of these forces, the Iraqi forces now, are going face to face with these insurgents? That's not clear yet, but what we do know is that they will be non-operational advisors, meaning that they will presumably be on military bases rather than out in the battlefield. They will also presumably be helping with that very key intelligence, because part of any American action will be, and this has been signaled before, if and when that decision is taken, would be airstrikes, limited airstrikes most likely, and also the use of drones, whether manned or unmanned. But obviously, when you bring that into the equation, you need very good intelligence for locating, geolocating, where to aim those drones, because you have situations, obviously, you don't want what the military calls collateral damage. You don't want to hit civilians.
Emre, Demir, what's the takeaway that you have from this going forward, especially in how you contain the jihadists? Is Barack Obama going about it the right way?
Well, I think it is a wise decision, and the military solution does not exist in this situation, in this actual crisis in Iraq. And I think that a possible military intervention, U.S. military intervention, could have worsened the situation in Iraq. But as far as I know, I don't think that any possible political solution right now between the Maliki government and the Sunnite regimes, because we are assisting a proxy war between Turkey, Iran, and Saudi Arabia, or on a larger scale, Russia, China, and the US. So I think that it is a proxy war without limits, without rules. It is a brutal war. And I think that in actual conditions, there is no possible political solution. But we will see.
And we're also seeing some strange bedfellows. A little earlier, Majid, we were speaking with the Guardian correspondent Martin Chulov, who said that Iran's top general is in Baghdad right now, and he did not endorse Nouri al-Maliki. When they asked him, should Maliki stay on, he's remained very non-committal. Are Iran and the U.S. singing from the same hymn sheet on this?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think these are two rivals, but here they come with, they share this common interest when it comes to the defeating ISIL or other jihadist group. And Iran and the United States, we have to know they have cooperated with each other after 9/11 on several occasions. But from Rouhani's administration point of view, they're trying to be very cautious about taking side with one particular sect inside Iraq, because they don't want to project the picture to Saudi Arabia and other countries that their agenda is sectarian. But in fact, their agenda is sectarian, because they're defending the Shiite government of Maliki. And the last point, I think, probably one of the reasons that the United States is not going to send troops there, they know that Iran will put all its effort to support Maliki and to defeat ISIL. So there is really no need to send troops, while there is also no popular vote in the United States for such an act.
All right, so there was a meeting of the National Security Council in the U.S. There was a meeting here in Paris, by the way, same sort of meeting that took place this Thursday. Coming out of it, there was an official statement. The French president was part of that meeting, in which he said that France pledges its continued support to the armed opposition in Syria, but also calls on them to take on jihadists. Is that possible? Can you pledge support to Syria's opposition and at the same time get them to do that?
Well, I would like to enlarge the scope. It seems to me that's very naive, as it has been emphasized, to think that those local actors are playing something else than some sectarian agenda. So playing on the opposition, the military opposition without the jihadists seems to me quite naive. I would like to emphasize that perhaps the current situation is not is serving the interests of some of the United States. But the chaos could be a solution. Without any solution, it could be the solution, and at least they could perhaps think that in this condition they could ensure the security of Israel, because there are no more strong Arabic force in front of them, in front of Israel. In my mind, that's a bad calculation. It's a miscalculation, because at least authoritarian regimes were not mad, and the people that are now on the ground are more dangerous than those Bashar al-Assad or Saddam Hussein.
All right, Fahed, Ibrahim, Basha, right now it's how do you contain the jihadists? Is that the top priority ahead of taking on Bashar al-Assad?
Well, I think we cannot put priorities in this issue. The whole area now is suffering from chaos. This chaos has been created by the inactive, the no action taken from Obama administration so far since the Syrian revolution started. And we cannot divide Iraq from Syria today. The Sykes-Picot borders has fallen long time ago, and what is happening in Iraq will have his extension in Syria, and is coming actually also from the Syrian chaos that has been created by the no action taken by the West to support the Syrian people revolution for freedom and dignity and democracy. We were talking also about the Armenian, if you want to go back to the Armenian issue. I can see, I not agree at all that the Armenians were protected by the Syrian government at all, by the Syrian regime. The Armenians are essential part of the Syrian society, and they are in Syria since many centuries, from the 11th century until now. Although they came in the early 20th century as refugees, there were no Assad at that time, and they have been all the Syrians opened their houses there, and they been integrated into the Syrian society, and they play a big role in the Syrian society and to build the Syria before Assad. During Assad regime, the Armenian, before Assad regime, they were 150,000. During Assad regime, 50,000 left, and before the revolution, 100,000 only were in Syria, mostly in Aleppo.
All right, so it's not in the interests of the Armenians, you're saying, to be under the protection of the Assad regime. Very quickly before we go, because we're almost out of time, Emre, Demir, just one question on this. When we're talking about containing Sunni radicals, Turkey's government this week, after just a few weeks ago, putting another hardline group, the Al-Nusra Front, on its terrorist list, taking them off the list. What's the reason?
Well, we do know that Turkey did not pay much attention to these extremist groups because anybody who fought against the al-Assad regime, Bashar al-Assad regime, was a good guy. And we saw that, for example, when United States condemned al-Nusra as a terrorist group, Turkey disagreed with that decision, and there were some rumors about Turkey supporting these groups, especially al-Nusra, not ICIS.
So they put him on the terrorist list, and they take him off.
And I think the recent situation is related to over 14 hostages taken by ISIS in Iraq, in Mosul.
So they're worried about their nationals that are being held by
negotiation going on, and this decision must be related to this.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut everybody short here because of that press conference we've been had our allotted time eaten into, but that's the joys of live television. Emre, Demir, I want to thank you. I want to thank as well Majid, Rafizadeh, as well Laurent, Leylekian, France24's Douglas Herbert, and Fahed Ibrahim Basha for joining us from Cyprus. Thank you for joining us here in this special edition of the France24 Debate.